Hey everyone, and welcome back to Bridging the Gap. Make sure to leave a like on this video down below and subscribe. My name is Alvin. I lean right on most issues, and I'll be representing the Republican side.
My name is Luke. I lean left on most issues, and I'll be representing the Democratic side. Now, it's been a while, Alvin. Um,
Yes,
in
it
this video,
has.
in this video, we'll be focusing on the Georgia runoff, which is tomorrow, I believe, December 6th, between
Yeah.
Reverend Raphael Warnock, the incumbent senator, the Democratic senator, going up against the challenger, Herschel Walker, the football star.
Yeah. So this race is gonna determine the size of the Democratic majority in the Senate because Democrats already control 50 seats and the vice presidency. We've both been really busy with college applications and in my case running for local office, so that's interesting. And here we go, 50 to 49. We're going to have to characterize what we think is going to happen in Georgia tomorrow because it's the final day of the runoff. So current state of the Senate is as follows. There was a close race in Georgia where Warnock was up by about a point, and we're going to see what happens going into the second round. The House has already been decided for the Republicans. That doesn't matter. So let's get into Georgia.
Okay. Is there anything on runoff polling? Oh, there we go. There we go.
There we
Um,
go.
so yeah, as we can see here, majority of runoff polls, Warnock is ahead. And I think that's what you'd expect. He was ahead, general election, like the day of the general election by around 0.9 percentage points. And thinking of the situation here with Herschel Walker, Walker's a more controversial candidate. So I think a decent amount of Republicans voted for Walker to try to get the Senate majority, but aren't necessarily going to turn out for him in this runoff here. So that's partially why I think the polls are more one-sided. Also, polling corrections. I think a lot of pollsters, after getting 2022 wrong, and being biased toward the Republican Party and having more Republican leaning polling results, I think polls are going to be, more inclined to try to adjust to that. And that's why I think in the runoff we're seeing, like you see here, and all the polls before the general Republican leaning. And if you go back to the runoff, I think after this adjustment and after we see Warnock likely gaining more support and Walker losing some support, I think, this is pretty consistent with what you'd expect.
Yeah, I completely agree. Let's just quickly take a look at the betting markets. Now, I personally think this is a little extreme of a market here for Democrats. Perhaps all the Republicans lost their money after the 2022 election and can't bet, because I personally think 92 cents is just not a great deal right now for a dollar in terms of this bet. But it does go to show the amount of confidence that bettors have in this market for Warnock. It is a very strong price. If you look at the election, the 30-day graph, for example, on election day, Walker was expected to win, and then it flipped on its head and slowly has been climbing and climbing towards 90%, which has been achieved. Another interesting Senate market is the closest Senate race market. The Nevada race, was decided by 0.8%. So if the Georgia race goes under 0.8% in either direction, Georgia would win this market. So people think that it's not even going to be under 0.8%, that Warnock is going to win by a significant margin. All right, let's go ahead and look at our predictions.
Yeah. Should I go first, or do you want to
go ahead?
Okay. Personally, I think by the trajectory of things, I think Raphael Warnock's going to win re-election by roughly 3 to 4 points in Georgia. I just think Walker is very weak going into this. Firstly, there's the mail-in vote. In terms of like the by-race early vote for this runoff, it's higher than election day. It's 32% black minority, like black, as opposed to 29%. So there's more African American vote. That's better for Democrats. That's better for Warnock. That's one advantage. Obviously, Warnock's ahead in fundraising. Warnock has far less controversy. Like Walker has had scandal after scandal. Whether it's like getting abortions for women as a Republican candidate, or faking being a police officer, and just generally trumpeting Trump's election lies. He's a pretty controversial candidate who moved from Texas to Georgia. That doesn't necessarily help him, and I think a significant amount of Republicans who would have voted for him to get the Senate majority aren't going to vote for him this time around. So I just think Warnock is going to win by a decent margin, 3-4 for me. What do you reckon?
I'm going to go ahead and make a somewhat bold prediction here, and I'm going to say Warnock wins by a likely margin. I'm going to say he wins by over 5 points. Right now, we'll put it at a solid 5.7 points here. There's a lot of reasoning behind this for my likely characterization of Georgia. And if obviously the early vote looks absolutely abysmal for Walker, even though he's African American, he is unable to really get any of that vote. If we do look at the Senate, we can see just how well the Democrats did in swing states. And Georgia is especially interesting because it's been shifting over to the left. And we've been seeing Brian Kemp doing well in the state, but with him not on the ballot, right? With the early vote data suggesting so, with Georgia continually shifting to the left, I think the educated voters are more likely to turn out in this runoff race where Republicans have been losing educated voters and gaining more just high school educated or no college education. I think that's all going to benefit Warnock because they're not going to show up on December 6th. They might not even know runoffs happening December 6th. Some of them might still think it's in January. Some of them might think there is no runoff at all because they don't pay attention. There's been very little hype about this election over the news, which is really interesting. Like I remember in 2020, every single story around January 5th was like, oh, there's a runoff in Georgia. No one really cared about the Trump thing that was about to happen. No, it was all about Georgia. And that made sense because the Senate was on the line. Now the Senate's on the line. The Democrats did a lot better. We talked about previously about how the party that does unexpectedly well in 2022 elections is going to do well in the Georgia runoff. We both said it would go to runoff. And so I think this one is going to be a 5.7 point victory for Warnock. And I think it might be even more.
Okay.
There's gonna be a lot of implications for this race, right?
Yeah.
For this race, right? If Warnock wins, Democrats are gonna get an extra cushion of a vote. They're gonna be able to put all their bribes into Kyrsten Sinema of Arizona instead of focusing on Joe Manchin at all.
So it definitely gives Democrats more wiggle room. It also gives them this is more nitty gritty stuff, but it gives them more control over Senate committees, which can also be helpful. They have more room to pass judges and stuff. And also, importantly, it also gives Democrats a little bit more of a cushion in 2024 because the 2024 Senate map looks abysmal for Democrats. So you have to defend a lot of seats.
True.
So having that extra seat can definitely be
huge.
Very helpful.
Absolutely huge.
It's massive.
Also, of note is a lot of the so-called rhinos are on their way out this cycle. We've had North Carolina's sort of rhino character, Ohio, Pennsylvania, basically everywhere, right? I think Ben Sass is retiring or resigning in Nebraska. Etc. All the rhino types that are more likely to vote with Democrats, for example, on the gay marriage bill that passed, the filibuster, they're all on the way out. They're basically a clean sweep. There's one obviously in Murkowski in Alaska, sort of rhino type in Romney in Utah, and Susan Collins in Maine, which is obviously better for Republicans than a Democrat from Maine. But either way, Democrats, if they want to continue to get stuff done, they're going to have to break the filibuster over and over again. And with these Republicans on their way out, there's at least 3 question mark or 4, right, on their way out. More moderate types. They're going to need as many Democrats as possible to be able to convince the remaining moderates that they're going to be able to break filibusters on social issues, especially. So that's going to be huge for them. Anyways, anything else you'd like to say? Let's make this a short video.
Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's your final prediction on the margin here if you had to give it a number on Georgia?
The final to the 10th place here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it at 3.7.
3.7, I'm at 5.7, so I'm at a likely margin. Thanks, and a lean margin. We'll figure it out. It's definitely going Democrat, in my opinion, but we'll see tomorrow. So thanks for watching, everyone. Leave a like down below. It's been a while since we did this. Comment to help us with the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe because we are likely going to do a lot more content in the future, especially in January and beyond. And we'll be recapping this race as soon as the results come in. So thanks for watching, everyone. And yeah.
See ya.
Share this video. See ya. Bye.
See ya.